MARSOC, the Marine Corps Special Operations Unit, operates covertly in highly dangerous locations, executing challenging and sensitive missions. But there was a mole in the team which made it a lot worse than it already was. What really happened? The secret was finally revealed, and this incident was one of a kind. The mission. In 2007, during the early morning hours, a group of Marines embarked on a mission from their base in Nangarhar province of Afghanistan. This mission, consisting of 3 approved phases, commenced as they headed eastward, passing through Badykot and venturing towards the snow-covered Tora Bora mountains. Along their journey, they encountered challenging conditions due to the snowy terrain and muddy paths. Upon reaching a significant border crossing, they briefly crossed paths with a nearby Army military police unit. After this encounter, the Marines resumed their search for suitable insertion points along the mountain base. Their aim was to locate areas where the snow had melted sufficiently, providing opportunities for future reconnaissance operations. After an unsuccessful search for viable options, the convoy embarked on patrols and made its way back towards Badykot. The Marines had a plan to engage with local elders and gather more information about the insurgency in the area. However, upon arrival, the district's once bustling streets were eerily silent, with only men of fighting age visible. Suddenly, a vehicle emerged unexpectedly and forcefully collided with a second vehicle in the convoy, resulting in a devastating explosion. The deafening blast reverberated through the air, accompanied by a brilliant orange fireball that illuminated the sky. The sheer force of the explosion caused shrapnel to rain down upon all 6 vehicles in the convoy. Platoon Commander Fred Galvin had little time to react as the unexpected ambush unfolded before his eyes. Out of nowhere, another vehicle surged towards the side of the convoy, its occupants leaning out the windows and opening fire with AK-47s. Despite being engulfed in flames, one Marine turret gunner swiftly extinguished the fire on his body armor, promptly retaliating with a relentless barrage of bullets that halted the advancing vehicle. However, the Marines' peril was far from over, as they were suddenly met with a fresh wave of small arms fire emanating from the opposite side of the road. Determined and undeterred, the Marines courageously fought their way out of the intricate ambush, deftly navigating through the chaotic scene while engaging the enemy who seemed to materialize from various directions. As they made their escape, a mob suddenly materialized on the road, obstructing the Marines' path with a car and their own bodies. In response, the turret gunner fired a warning shot above the crowd, causing them all to swiftly disperse. This gave the Marines the chance to maneuver around the roadblock and safely return to Jalalabad airfield. Miraculously, they had survived the ambush with only 1 Marine sustaining shrapnel wounds. However, the situation took a distressing turn in the aftermath. Misinformation began spreading even before the platoon reached their base. Local residents started alleging that the MARSOC team had become unhinged, indiscriminately gunning down innocent civilians. Village elders provided a narrative that the Marines were intoxicated and had exited their vehicles to carry out a door-to-door rampage. They claimed that no vehicle had exploded and that the Marines had fabricated the ambush using slingshots and grenades to feign an attack and justify their shooting of civilians. Court trial. In addition to the consequences faced by Commander Fred Galvin, who was stripped of his command, the investigations into the events that unfolded in Badykot were far from over. In January 2008, approximately 10 months after the incident took place, the Marine Corps conducted a court of inquiry. The purpose of this inquiry was to thoroughly investigate the incident and ascertain whether there was sufficient credible evidence to pursue criminal charges. The proceedings of the court of inquiry lasted for 3 weeks, during which the 7 Marines who were most directly involved endured a substantial physical and emotional toll. The process was undoubtedly grueling, requiring them to recount and relive the events that had unfolded in the Badykot. The court of inquiry marked an important step in seeking justice and establishing accountability for the actions taken during the incident. During the court of inquiry, the military imposed restrictions on media coverage, ensuring that a substantial portion of the testimony was conducted behind closed doors. This measure aimed to prevent the release of classified information to the public. The Marines involved in the proceedings claimed that they encountered tactics of deception from within their own military ranks. The consequences of the military's investigation into Fox Company extended beyond the Marines directly implicated in the incident. Major General Kearney, a former 3-star general who retired from the Army in 2012, expressed his regret for his involvement. Subsequently, he faced his own investigation conducted by the Defense Department, further highlighting the far-reaching impact and scrutiny surrounding the incident. The restrictive media coverage and internal investigations served as a reflection of the complexity and sensitivity surrounding the events in Badykot, as well as the efforts to uncover the truth while balancing classified information and maintaining military discipline. Inspector General. Accusations of repeated misconduct were directed at Major General Kearney by North Carolina Congressman Walter Jones. These allegations pertain to Kearney's handling of the case against Fox Company and another separate incident involving members of the Army's elite Green Berets. 5 months later, over the Memorial Day weekend, a brief and concise statement was released comprising only one sentence. The statement proclaimed that the Marines had acted appropriately, thereby exonerating them from any wrongdoing. The culmination of the investigations and the subsequent exoneration served as a critical point in the case, validating the Marines' actions while addressing the allegations and bringing some measures of closure to the turbulent and contentious events surrounding Fox Company. The Marines involved in the incident have persistently carried the burden of feeling perceived as guilty of committing war crimes by countless individuals. Even after 8 years, major news outlets continue to report allegations that Fox Company was responsible for the deaths of innocent civilians. This ongoing narrative has deeply impacted the Marines who are still enlisted, as they claim to be passed over for promotions and approach battle with hesitance. One Marine expressed the sentiment that they've become reluctant to discharge their firearms and would rather take a bullet themselves than endure the prolonged interrogations and scrutiny that would follow. Commander Fred Galvin in particular has devoted more than a decade to fighting against the stain on his reputation and the reputations of his fellow Marines. The enduring consequences of this incident continue to reverberate within their lives, shaping their experiences and perspectives long after the event took place. Commander Fred Galvin is determined to shed light on the truth behind the accusations that painted his Marines as war criminals responsible for the deaths of innocent civilians in their haste to escape Badykot. Galvin yearns for complete transparency, making it unequivocally clear that the conflict in Badykot was just a justifiable engagement. He emphasizes that his Marines did not abandon their vehicles, but rather maintained control throughout the ordeal. According to the Court of Inquiry's findings, they were fully aware of their targets, and their use of force was deemed justified. For over a decade, the belief that the MARSOC team committed war crimes has haunted the members of Fox Company. They have never received an official apology, and the only semblance of clearance came after a review conducted by a Navy Records Board in 2018. However, those most directly affected by the incident still harbor concerns about potential violent retaliation from adversaries associated with the events in Badykot. The grueling legal battle has taken a toll on their health as they continue to face ongoing stress-related challenges. While none of the members of Fox Company were discharged from the military due to the incident, some have encountered significant professional difficulties. One Marine expressed feeling stigmatized as a war criminal despite being cleared of any wrongdoing. The way that the incident was perceived has cast a lasting negative impact on the unit and its individual members.